Okay guys, let's get into this. It was just arriving back home. Then, when you opened the door, a stench of blood hit you. You walked in your room where your parents stayed. Their whole floor bleeding. Then, you heard footsteps. Heavy footsteps. Out of nowhere, a demon attacked you. He left you bloody and lying on the ground. You died, but came back as a demon. You only died for 3 days. When you came back, you looked around the house, hoping and praying to God that your sister was still alive. You sooner or later found her underneath a couple of baskets and clothing, hiding. She was absolutely petrified when she saw you, but you convinced her that it was her older sister, and telling her stuff that only you would know, so she had to believe you. You and her left the house. She couldn't stand around being the body of your parents. You went into the woods, and you stayed there for a couple of days. You had money, so you were able to buy food and stuff. So, hey guys, sorry for any background noises. It's actually raining outside. So yeah. And then you heard footsteps. You didn't recognize these footsteps, and then you smelled it. Human. It was a very docile creature. You don't eat other humans. Usually, if you're hungry enough, you eat other demons. But you prefer to eat fruits. And if you can find any animals, you eat those. Dang it, Rain. You have to get that hard after a recording? Come on. Anyways, that aside, you were sitting with your sister, relaxing, and then you heard the footsteps. Then you saw in the corner of your eye a demon slayer swing their sword at you. Out of your sister instincts, you slung yourself over your sister, cradling her in her chest and protecting her by squeezing her into a ball around and wrapping yourself around her. When the demon slayer was about to swing their sword again, they realized what it was doing. They were confused until they realized there was a human underneath there. You could easily make out it was a male with dark hair and blue eyes. When he realized what he was doing, and he thought the human was dead for a moment, and then it saw its legs move. It was alive still. It was attacking it. You only saw this behavior from Nezuko. He thought for a moment. Then he slowly approached you, which made you hug your sister even tighter. He thought for a moment again, and then put down his sword and kicked it slightly away. So if you ever did try to attack him, it will be easier for him to reach it. Then he bent down to your level, since he was crouching. Well, technically sitting. You and him made eye contact while he was doing all of this. You looked at the sword and looked back at him. Then you finally let go of your sister. She looked up at you and said, "Big sister, who's that?" You just shrugged your shoulders. My name is Giyu, he said, in a soft, quiet, bland tone. Oh, nice to meet you. My name is, and so whatever your sister's name is going to be. You can choose whatever you want it to be. And that's my big sister Listener, he said with a big smile while pulling on your clothes. He let a faint smile. For some reason, Giyu's heart skipped a beat. He grabbed his chest, trying to calm it down. He let a deep sigh. Hey, you okay out here? He said, not trying to make a conversation at least, because it was getting awkward. Oh yeah, big sister took me out here. He had a confused look on his face. What happened to your parents? When he asked that question, he noticed the look on your face changed. He wasn't smiling anymore, and he looked so sad, like he was about to cry, and he just turned away. Your sister shrugged her shoulders. Big sister won't tell me what happened. But last time I checked, this big, huge monster came in, and they told me to hide underneath these big things, and I heard a lot of screaming. I don't know what happened, though. Big sister saying they were just playing dead, and we had to leave. Gia's face changed from a plain slate to a worried and sympathetic look. He looked back at you. He was barely making any eye contact with him. He went silent. You want to come back to HQ, he said. Ooh, what's that? That's where all the demon slayers are. Oh, really? I always wanted to be a demon slayer. Your sister said with a big smile. Really? Yeah, but Mommy and Daddy said I was just too young. It's not fair, she said, crossing her arms and stomping her feet. Giyu let out a small chuckle, and so did you at the same time. Once again, his heart skipped a beat. Why is my heart acting like this, he said in his head. Anyways, come on, I'll show you the way. On the way, it started raining. Your sister was getting extremely wet. You took off your jacket, since you had a shirt underneath it, and put it on top of her head. But you can tell by your face that you was super cold and you was also soaking wet. He took off his jacket and put it over your shoulders. You flashed him a huge smile. Once again, his heart. Damn it, what's wrong with me today, he said, underneath his breath. Sooner or later, they arrived. Just wait out here. I'll be right back. I have to talk to someone. He left you guys on the porch. Luckily, there was a roof above your head, so he wasn't getting wet anymore. He took off Giyu's jacket. It felt so warm and cozy inside. He just put it back on instead. Your sister laid against your arm, then put her head in your lap. You started brushing out her hair. She used to do that all the time. When Giyu came out, he came out with an older person who had dark hair, a patch on her face, and wearing a robe. He motioned you to come with him. Then you went. When he came out, he was perfectly fine, which made your sister breathe a sigh of relief. Even though she was your younger sister, she still deeply cared about you. One time, a dog bit you and she tried kicking it, but she failed and slipped. This made you laugh at her, but he was glad she was taking initiative and trying to protect you. You guys went through HQ, and you sat in the back with the so-called demon doctor. She treated your wounds, since you had some from before, because sometimes animals would attack you. But other than that, you relatively didn't have any wounds. And your sister would join you in your cage, sometimes. But mostly she'd hang out with other humans. One time, Giyu came to visit you. He practically was going to take back his jacket, but obviously because he was tired. When he opened your cage to grab his jacket, you pulled him to sit down. He wasn't a very talkative demon. He was absolutely shocked when you pulled him down. He said, the only thing he mumbled out was rest. You need rest. He tried getting up, but you didn't let him. You put his head in your lap and started stroking his head. He gotta admit, it was comforting. He started yawning. He told himself not to fall asleep, not to fall asleep. It's a demon, not to fall asleep. But eventually he gave in to temptation and he fell asleep on your lap. The demon doctor walked in on this. She gave you a look like, I shipped this, and just walked off. Only a couple of hours later, Giyu woke up. You were still asleep, and he was asleep in your lap. You quickly realized that he needed to get up before someone saw him. As he left, he ran to Subaru. Oh, hey, Giyu. Where were you? She said. It doesn't matter. I have training to do, he said, barging past her. His face was all flustered. Weird, she thought. Sooner or later, you woke up and your sister joined you. From that day on, you kept visiting you. Sometimes you do random stuff like braid his hair, or just style it, or just relax with him. He was very comforted around you. Nezuko would sometimes visit you too. She was great to have another demon friend, and sometimes you will also braid her hair. Anyone with long hair visits you, they're going to get their hair braided, whether they like it or not. That's what the demon doctor told anyone who had long hair to go in. Even Tanjiro couldn't escape your grasp. You didn't talk barely at all. You only said a couple of words. And that's it. Your sister did confirm that you fully can talk English. You only talk to her much more than you did to others, because she was particularly shy. You stayed there for a good 2 years. It was allowed to leave your cage as long as you was accompanied by someone, and that was usually Giyu. One time you walked into the forest. You was thinking of making a flower crown for all your friends. You was friends with Nezuko. You made one for your sister, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Anusuke, Giyu, and the demon doctor. That was all. As you finished, he was walking back, and Giyu noticed you had things in your hand. He asked you what it was, but you just hid it from him and didn't answer. Weird, he thought. When you got into the base, you ran up to Tanjiro and placed something on his head, then ran away. He was confused and took it off. It was a cute little flower crown. He just chuckled and put it back on his head. He did the same thing with Nezuko, Zenitsu. Well, Zenitsu was terrified, which made you chuckle a little. You gave one to you, sister, and when Giyu came to visit you later on that day, when he wasn't looking, you plopped on his head, and he didn't notice until someone pointed it out at him. You gotta admit, he was practically really cute. Of course, he could never say that to your face. He thought love was his weakness. But around you, his heart skipped a beat and started beating faster than normal. Every time you would do something cute, just like smiling or just talking in general in a cute tone, just make his heart beat so fast. He always liked being surrounded by you. Every time. One time, you was hanging out with him. You was thinking of doing something. You didn't know what to do. The demon doctor gave you a quill covered in some ink and a piece of paper. It was just drawing random squiggles. Then you thought for a moment. Then you draw Giyu with a heart around him. You silently, quietly asked the demon doctor to give this to him. She agreed. When he came around, she gave him the paper, and his heart started beating so fast. Here's a demonstration of what his heart was beating. Yeah. He felt like he was about to have a heart attack. It was so freaking adorable. The demon doctor knows how red his face was getting. She teased him about it, but he denied anything. But the demon doctor knew what was going on, so she didn't listen. One time he was relaxing in your cell, and Giyu came to visit you. Once again, he was so tuckered out, and he had little cuts on him. The demon doctor gave you a couple of bandages, just in case you hurt yourself. When you saw him, you pulled him down, as sometimes you usually did, but he was used to it now, so he wasn't surprised. You quickly bandaged him up and put him down on his back. You can smell his blood was on his chest area. You started opening his jacket, which scared him. Listen, what are you doing? He said. You whispered, calm down, in a quiet toned voice, and started applying bandages to his waist. He let out a sigh. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you like that. You just scared me a little. You scared you? How impossible, he said in a quiet tone, making him chuckle. He barely ever chuckles. So it made you feel good on the inside to hear him. He lay down. Today is such a boring and plain day as usual, he said, but I need a train. You started yelling too. Without hesitation, you lay down on his chest. Listening, before he could finish his sentence, he was sound asleep. Seeing you so cute and wrapped up, he fell asleep too. And eventually your sister joined in. You guys were so freaking adorable. The demon doctor walked in, saw this, and had a heart attack. It was so cute. She told all the others. Now, as soon as he woke up, Shuber wouldn't let it go. And so when the other Hashiras. Oak and I wouldn't let it go either. But his face was turning red because people saw him. He was red from embarrassment. One day, he went to visit you in your cell, and he wasn't there. Weird, he thought. He checked around. He wasn't there either. He started panicking a little. He decided to go look in the forest. He didn't go so far in the forest, but he checked there anyways. Damn it, he wasn't there. Where the hell were you? He thought. He never been so worried in his life. He kept looking for you. Searching high and low, everywhere if he could. Sorry, guys. Fuck, he thought. Someone must have gotten to you or something. He was starting to get worried. Then, he heard a whimpering from a couple of bushes. He opened them to see another demon slayer that he couldn't recognize. He was also male. He didn't look like one of the hostiles or anyone he knew. But he had to stop him. He yelled out, "Stop," and a person came to look at him. He jumped in front of you. "What the hell are you doing?" the person yelled. "Why are you protecting this stupid demon? She's not no ordinary stupid demon. She's a kind person. Have you gone mad? It's a demon, for goodness sakes. A demon," he yelled out. You and him were, that person and him were going back and forth. You couldn't take it. You had to break your silence. Your ears were ringing. You yelled, "Stop!" That's the first time Giyu heard you yell. "Oh, shut up, demon bitch." And when he said those words, Giyu was fucking pissed. He threw him against the ground. And he stomped on him. Not like baby stomp on an ant. He kept stomping. You found your strength and helped yourself get up. You pulled him off. Giyu, stop. You're gonna get in trouble. He's not worth it. You're right. You're lucky. He quickly grabbed you and walked off. Your legs were weak. He was basically shivering. "Listener? I'm fine. Don't worry. Keep going." But he wouldn't listen. As stubborn as he were, he picked you up and put you on his back. "Can you put me down? You couldn't finish your words. You're all mumbled up. You was shivering, you was tired, and you was just cold. Like you was getting heat and cold flashes. Whatever that person did, it just made you sick. I'm not putting you down, listener. Deal with it. I'm trying to help you." Sorry. He outside. It's fine. He took you back to the demon doctor. The demon doctor was so upset when she saw you. To be honest, you was her one of her favorite demons, right next to Nezuko. Bleh. What's Nezuko? Nezuko. She took very good care of you. Giyu came to visit you after the demon doctor was done. "Giyu, why did you do that?" He went silent. "'Cause he bit his lip. "I love you, listener. That's why." He was shocked to hear this news. Then, he broke out into a smile. "It's something funny," he said. clearly worried. You was taking this as rejection. You shook your head. Then, you did something he wasn't expecting. You leaned closer to his face. Listener, what are you? He was so caught off guard of this. You chuckled. I've been waiting so long to do that, you said. He allowed a small chuckle too. Then you heard a little gasp. He looked around the room to see your sister watching from a corner. Insert your sister's name, he yelled out. Ooh, big sister got a boyfriend. No. Your sister took off running. Get back here. You better not tell anyone. I'm telling everyone. No, you're not, you said, chasing after her. Giyu broke out into a smile. A genuinely big smile. He just sighed and watched you chase around your little sister while she yelled at to everyone saying that Giyu was your boyfriend. The end. Bye guys, see you next time.